Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for shouting out the names of your high schools and the cities in the chat. And congratulations on your admission to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. My name is Javon Edwards. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm an admissions officer here at Cal Poly. And I'm also a master's candidate in the Higher Education Counseling and Student Affairs program that we have here, which is one of the many master's level programs that we offer at Cal Poly. So a little bit about me. I've been working at Cal Poly for about 3.5 years now. And during my time here, I've had the pleasure of serving as the Black Student Union Club Advisor, which is one of the many cultural and social student clubs that we have to offer as well. I've also had the honor of supporting the Center for Leadership and the Black Academic Excellence Center, which are two of the academic and cultural centers within the Division of Student Affairs at Cal Poly. So I am currently residing and presenting to you virtually from Rover Beach, which is about 15 minutes away from campus. And I've lived on the Central Coast of California since I was about 8 years old. Definitely have a little bit of a military family background and was born in Lancaster, California. So I am excited to be here with you all today. And I am joined by my colleague, Anna, who will be co-emceeing, and you've already heard her already starting today. So Anna, would you like to give a quick introduction?
Definitely. Thank you, Javon. So hi, everyone, again, and welcome. My name is Anna Black-Hogans. My pronouns are she, hers, and I'm the admissions officer specifically for San Diego County, Orange County, Imperial County, Riverside County. So I may have done a school visit or a district visit in the last few years at your schools and hometowns. I'm originally from the Bay Area, made myself down to San Luis Obispo to attend undergrad. Loved it so much, just started to work for the institution. I've been at Cal Poly for almost 4 years, and now I get to do this job from sunny San Diego, which I'm super thankful for. So I just wanted to say congratulations. It is a very competitive applicant pool that you got into, and I'll let Javon keep going with a bunch of the other details.
Thanks, Anna. So yeah, we're both so excited to have you here with us on this beautiful Sunday evening. It's really starting to feel like summer. Definitely in California for sure. And I'm sure many of you are joined by your parents, your family, your friends, and supporters. So if you are joined by one or more supporters, go ahead and give them a high five or a virtual high five. If they are not at the same computer screen as you, give them a hug if they're right next to you and say, "We did it." I'm gonna give you all a couple seconds to do that because it's really important to show your appreciation to those supporters. And yes, I totally meant to say we did it because your supporters assisted you throughout this entire process of preparing you for college and applying to universities to now being admitted to Cal Poly. And I'm sure that they will be with you to support and guide you during the next couple of years as a Cal Poly student. So again, welcome everyone. Congratulations on your admission to Cal Poly. We have some amazing guest speakers that are lined up for you tonight. They're going to share some information about their involvement and experiences at Cal Poly. And we also have some amazing support staff that are here behind the scenes this evening, and they will be answering some of the questions that you have about Cal Poly. So we do know that this is a very exciting time for you as an admitted scholar and for your supporters. And you may have some questions, or you may have a lot of questions about this entire process of being admitted to Cal Poly and the next steps, or questions about financial aid or student life. And this is your opportunity here today to ask some of those questions and receive direct answers and information about resources from our admission staff, our campus partners, and current students that are here today to answer your questions, again, behind the scenes. So at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see the Q&A feature, and you will be able to ask any questions that you have during this presentation by clicking on that button. Just for reference, the chat feature will be disabled for attendees for the rest of this program, so make sure that you're using the Q&A feature, and we will respond to those questions and also be able to share some relevant webpage links and resources in the chat. And towards the end of this, we will have some time for a Q&A with our panelists. So just be sure to ask any questions that you have. This is the time to do it. So now that we have all of that out of the way, we want to share a quick video with you all that gives a visual representation of Cal Poly and the Cal Poly community essentially welcoming you and congratulating you on this tremendous accomplishment. And we want you to get pumped up about your admission and welcome you to the Mustang family. So here is our special congratulations video. Amazing. So that was definitely a special congratulations video to welcome you to Cal Poly, and you get to see some learn by doing examples. You get to see beautiful Morro Bay. So yeah, just congratulations. And we kind of now want to transition this into our panelists that are here to speak to you about their experiences at Cal Poly and what they do here at Cal Poly. So first up, I'm going to introduce Delphina Mania. Delphina, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself fully?
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Congratulations to the incoming class. Very well-deserved spot at Cal Poly. We would love to join you to our family. My name is Delphina Medina. I am the Assistant Director of Financial Aid and Scholarships. I am a Cal Poly grad. I was born and raised on the Central Coast, and I am currently, I've been at Cal Poly for about 13 years, and for about the last 5 to 7 or 8, it's been a while, I also support students as the club advisor for the MECHA students. So not only involved very much so in making sure that scholarships get processed properly and all kinds of financial aid, but support students in any way I can. Glad to be with you today.
Thanks so much, Delphina. And yes, she is with the Financial Aid and Scholarships Office. So this is your opportunity to ask those questions in the Q&A feature if you have any. Next up, we have Maya May, which I met personally from her involvement in the Black Student Union. Maya, would you like to give an introduction?
Hi, everyone. My name is Maya May, and I use she, her pronouns. I am a graduating senior at Cal Poly with a major in ethnic studies and a minor in event planning and experience management. Though I came into Cal Poly as an animal science major pre-vet, and I was in that major for 2 years. So I do have some experience with the cafes, the College of Agriculture. And I've worked multiple jobs on campus, both within the cross-cultural centers, as a student assistant, as a teaching assistant, and I'm currently a research assistant through the Beacon program, which is a wonderful opportunity for underrepresented students to get some research as an undergraduate. And basically, I've been involved in a lot of different areas on campus, and I'd love to tell you more about opportunities and ways you can get involved at Cal Poly in multiple facets.
Thanks so much, Maya. I know the students really appreciate you being here today, and thank you for also highlighting Beacon Research, which is a really great opportunity for some of our underrepresented students to be able to participate with really important research with some of our faculty members. So up next, our last panelist is Justin. Justin, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Happy Sunday, everyone. My name is Justin Raja. I am a Cal Poly graduate, class of 2017. I was a graduate of the Orford College of Business, also known as OCOB. I was involved in Greek life as well as ASI, which is the student government on campus. I was born and raised in the Bay Area, went to high school with Anna, went to college with Anna as well. I recently followed her down to San Diego, so I am in sunny San Diego. Happy to see a lot of San Diego high school students here. And I'm now currently a marketing manager in the tech industry.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Justin, for being here. And now, without further ado, Anna, would you like to go ahead and kind of introduce our keynote speakers or transition into that?
Definitely. And we have some incredible panelists today that have just a plethora of experiences. So please ask those questions. They have a lot of experience and knowledge that they can pass down to you. And something that we take a lot of pride in at Cal Poly is the network and the connections that students are able to make with our staff and faculty on campus. It's a very unique thing at an undergraduate focused institution to be able to interact with deans, with professors, with staff who really care about students and their college experience. So I am super excited that we have both Dean Fleischer and Jamie Patton, who are going to both be talking a little bit about Cal Poly in very different lights. So Dean Fleischer, I'll have you go ahead and go first.
Great, thank you. I'm excited to be here with you all today, and I want to again follow up and say congratulations to everybody. It's just such a great feeling when you get that acceptance to a school you're really interested in, and we're so thrilled that you're thinking about being part of our Cal Poly family. So my name is Amy Fleischer. I'm Dean of the College of Engineering. Cal Poly, as you may know, has 6 academic colleges. Each academic college has a dean who's responsible for managing, making sure we maintain and continue to provide that great academic experience that you're coming to Cal Poly for. And when we think about academics at Cal Poly, 3 words come to mind, and that's learn by doing. And learn by doing is part of everything that we do. And it's part of our culture in the classroom, and it's part of our culture in our spare time as well. It really pervades the entire approach that we take to life at Cal Poly. And what I really love about that is learn by doing creates a culture where we all know that we just have to try. It's okay if we don't have experience. We're all starting without experience anytime you're trying to learn something new. And not having experience is not going to be a barrier to what you want to accomplish. We know that when we work together and we're collaborative and we're supportive of each other, we're going to learn every time we try to do something. We're not always successful the first time, and that's okay. And we just try something else, and we just keep learning, and we just keep trying. I call this kind of a bias towards action. We're not a college, we're not a university where people sit back and just kind of see what happens or lets life happen to them. We're the people who get out there and give things a try and see what happens. And I like to use a story that to me really kind of exemplifies this at Cal Poly. And I was talking to one of my electrical engineering majors a little while ago, a young woman who was heading out on internship. And I asked her, well, where are you going on your internship? And she said, oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to do an internship in robotics. I don't know anything about robotics. And she was just so excited to be going off and doing an internship in an area where she didn't know something just because she knew it was going to be such a great opportunity to learn and to really add those skills to what she has to offer. And when I think about that, I think about, how different that is from what you're going to see at some other schools where students, looking at the internships that are available might go, oh, robotics, I shouldn't apply for that. I don't know anything about robotics. Whereas Cal Poly, we're teaching you just to, if you don't know something, you just give it a try, and that's how you're going to learn. So we see that in the classroom, and we see it outside the classroom. And outside the classroom, we have a really strong club culture at Cal Poly, and students love to get involved in clubs. And a club can be a second home for you, as well as you're going to have a second home in your major. You're going to have all these different places where people are invested in your success and want you to learn and want you to move forward. So if we look kind of at like the different types of clubs we have, and a lot of them are run through the different colleges. I have in my college over 80 clubs in engineering. So you have to be able to find something that's going to interest you when we've got 80 different clubs. We've got clubs across the entire university, and we can group them into different areas. And within your academic side, you're going to see what we call like professional clubs. So in the business school, that might be Cal Poly Accounting. Or in engineering, it might be the Society of Mechanical Engineers, or it might be a political science club in liberal arts, or biotechnology club in sciences. So this is a place where you can get to meet people who have the same academic interests as you, and you can support each other in your academics. There's special interest clubs. All of us are fully rounded people. We all have interests outside of academics as well. So maybe it's hackathon, or maybe it's Model UN, or maybe it's the band, Or maybe it's the Rose Float, and you saw some great pictures of the Rose Float in the lead-in video. And that's a club that just brings together students from across all the different Cal Poly majors to work together to create the Rose Float every year. And then, there's competition clubs as well. A lot of these are grounded in your academics and run through the colleges again, such as in my college, we make a concrete canoe and we race it every year. There's soil judging in the agriculture school. There's design village and architecture. And we're always looking to add new clubs when students are interested. New in my college is Hyperloop, which has been around just a couple years. So there's all these wonderful activities that'll really enhance your academic experience. There's also a lot of interdisciplinary opportunities where you get to work with students from all different colleges. This could be in research. We have a lot of undergraduate research opportunities, both during the academic year and during the summers. And there's really interesting minors that you can look at that combine interests. So even just looking at different ways engineering combines with the different colleges, you can see engineering and business combined together to do entrepreneurship. Engineering and science combined together in data science and bioinformatics. We partner with the College of Liberal Arts in science, technology, and society, or in computing for the interactive arts, where you learn how to prepare yourself for a career in the digital movie industry. We team with architecture on the heavy civil construction minor, or in agriculture with work on ag tech and where's the future of agriculture going. And I know that all of the colleges are really committed to not only learn by doing and providing these interdisciplinary opportunities, but also to creating a sense of belonging for students. And I keep talking about finding your home, and your home might be in your major, or your home might be in your club, or your home might be a different type of network. We have a lot of affinity groups where you can find people with the same experiences or backgrounds, and you can find that support network that's going to help you as you move your way through your first few years at Cal Poly. In engineering, we have societies like the National Society of Black Engineers or the Society of Hispanic or Professional Engineers. We have over 1,000 members in our Society of Women Engineers. And these same types of groups are in all 6 colleges, like the Association for Women in Mathematics or the National Organization of Minority Architecture Students or the Latinx Business Student Association. There's lots of emphasis at Cal Poly on providing the support that students need to be successful. And we recognize everybody's coming to us with a different experience and a different background and different needs. And yet we're all working together to create a community where all our voices are heard and everybody gets that opportunity to be their own authentic self. And as you make your way through Cal Poly, I guarantee you our learn by doing approach to education is going to prepare you for the workforce no matter what degree you're in. We have employers lined up at the door to hire our students. Our most recent data shows just 6 months after graduation, 93% of students were already set in where their first steps are going to be after graduation. Most of those going right into working full time. And you can see here, they're showing 95% found jobs related to their major. Companies know what we're doing at Cal Poly, and they appreciate the approach. And our students are hitting the workforce ready day one to make a difference. Overall, our students are just universally successful in the path they define for themselves, and we are there to help you define your path as you move through Cal Poly. It's a really exciting time, and we're really excited that you're going to join us at Cal Poly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dean Fleischer. It's so amazing to hear from folks like her and other faculty and staff to know that you are not alone in this college journey. They are here for you, to support you, to not only grow professionally through your degree, but also to grow personally and be able to find that community. And so thank you so much for sharing your insight. And speaking of finding community, that's always something that we are always working towards to make sure that students are able to find their community in all sorts of different ways at Cal Poly. So I'd like to bring up Dr. Jamie Patton, and he will talk a little bit about student life. So Jamie Patton, take it away.
Good afternoon, and congratulations, students and families, on the offer of admission to Cal Poly. I know you've worked very hard to achieve this moment, and I hope you'll consider joining our Mustang family. As Anna said, my name is Jamie Patton. I'm humbled to serve as Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs with a focus on diversity and inclusion. My job is to help cultivate a healthy campus climate where everyone can be their unique and authentic self. I partner with 6 programs within student diversity and belonging and university partners across campus to, again, make sure everyone feels welcome to this Mustang family. I joined Cal Poly nearly 4 years ago, and I found many similarities to Cal Poly in my undergraduate experience on the East Coast. Much like many of y'all, I went to a campus that was 3 hours away from home. It was known as one of the best state schools, despite the fact it was not ethnically diverse. As a first-generation African-American male raised in North Philadelphia, this was an entirely different experience for me. Despite the small number of African-American students at my university, I managed to find ways to build community and turn my university into my home away from home. I was able to create memories both inside and outside the classrooms. And although the environment was so much different than the one I grew up in, I settled in and enjoyed being a part of a smaller community. You'll find the same kind of nurturing and supportive community here at Cal Poly. While we might be a school of considered a large public institution at over 20,000, I hope you know that this is going to feel like a small university. As long as you step up and ask the questions. If you need help, ask the question. Again, you'll find nurturing, supportive community here at Cal Poly with faculty and staff who want to see you thrive throughout your Mustang journey, whether it's programming services that will help you academically or financially, or events and other opportunities to help you build community. You know, when I think about all the resources, I think it goes back to even to throw some psychology into our welcome today. You know, the hierarchy of needs created by Dr. Abraham Maslow. He created them in 1948. And those are some of the things, the basic things that we strive to be the best of the best in providing, you know, in housing residence life, counseling services, health services. And I think about our student academic services, even the food, dining service, it's very intentional. And again, trying to make sure that you thrive and survive. If you're a leader, we hope that you continue to captivate your leadership skills with our Center for Leadership and Center for Service and Action. You can be active in what's called associated students. That's your student government, that is your representation. Or if you're just trying to find your peeps, as I was trying to do, we have several affinity centers like the Pride Center, our Multicultural Center, our Dream Center, the Black Academic Excellence Center, and we have a few more that we're about to launch in the coming years while you are students here at Cal Poly. You'll hear us talk about the Mustang Way a lot. We're proud of our distinguished history and heritage. Learn by doing. It's not just a slogan, it's how our students engage. One Grand Avenue, it's not just a mailing address, it's how we feel about this place. The Mustang Way, not just our core values, but a lifestyle. Cal Poly is just not, Cal Poly is not just a university. We're focused on excellence above all. We want you to succeed both inside and outside of the classroom. And we want you to embrace one another. You will have engaging discussions both inside and outside the classroom. We want you to be civil about your differences, but be prepared and willing to share your perspective. More than anything else, and you'll see this, we are one community. After you graduate, you will be able to say that you were a Mustang. Comes with some responsibility though. We ask that you accept it. We have pride in our work, and with pride and learn by doing, involvement, community service, giving back. We want you to lead by example. And essentially, what do you want Cal Poly to be known for? Our reputation is on the line. Companies will Google our school to see what we're offering. We expect respect. You belong here and you're welcome here, no matter who you are, your race, your color, your spiritual belief, your gender expression, national origin, disability or documentation status, political affiliation, but it's on all of us. And we believe and we know that it's on all of us to connect and reach out to others. We expect everyone to respect one another. In closing, again, I'd like to congratulate you on your offer of admission. I know this is a big decision for you and your family, and I hope we get to show you why Cal Poly is the right place for you. We are committed to being advocates for all students in our policies and our decision makings, and we will continue to work to ensure that all of your needs are met. Thank you, and I look forward to our discussion.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patton. It's so important for students to be able to find community, and we hope that whether it is you go to Cal Poly or any other institution, that you're able to find that community. And Javon did put a couple of links in the chat that I encourage you to check out. We do have several different cultural resources, such as the Latinx Student Resource Guide or the Black Student Resource Guide. If you are a first-generation college student, there are several different centers and organizations that are here to help you. And then we do have our Student Diversity and Belonging that comprises of several different centers, like Dr. Patton mentioned. So we do also have our Week of Welcome and Slow Days, which are mandatory orientation programs that all incoming students participate in. And during these orientation programs, you will have the opportunity to check out all the different programming and opportunities for you to find community. So thank you so much to our keynote speakers. I would like to invite all of our panelists to come back, and we're going to start our Q&A session. So please keep asking your questions. We will try to answer as many as possible. But the first question I wanted to ask is, are there job and internship opportunities for Cal Poly students? So anyone feel free to answer if you'd like to.
I would say certainly there's a lot of internship opportunity available for Cal Poly students. And I encourage you, even as first-year students, to attend our career fair. That'll be in the fall. We generally have that almost immediately upon returning to school, so it should be in early October. And there's a lot of companies already looking in October for interns for the next summer. So I encourage you to take advantage of that, and don't think just because you're a first-year student that the career fair is not for you, because it is. There's a lot of opportunities open to our first-year students.
I would echo that what Dean Fleischer just mentioned. You know, it's our goal, and you will have the opportunity to truly do this. You're able, because of Cal Poly and the connections and the resources that we have with the career fair, the diversity mixers, we want you to be able to have an internship, a paid internship at the end of your first year, at the end of your second year, at the end of the third year. So by the time you get ready to graduate, you will have 3 to 4 viable job offers to talk about at the table during the holidays when you become a senior. So all you have to do is, again, be connected both in your academic college with career services. And it's pretty hard not to know about the opportunities when it comes, again, to the different various career fairs that we have here at Cal Poly.
I would like to echo both Dean Fleischer and Dr. Patton. I wasn't able to get an internship my freshman or sophomore year, but my junior year, I actually did go to the career fair. Although I will preface that most companies there are looking for kind of first year, full-time workers. There are certain companies that are open to have conversations about internships, and that is actually where I found my internship. Was through someone who referred me to a company that was at the career fair. Amazing experience that then led me to have marketing experience after my senior year. So therefore, after my junior year, and therefore when I was applying for full-time jobs for my senior year, I was able to talk about my past experience during internship. So the career fair, 100% a viable resource for you all to get those internships and experience.
I wanted to touch a little bit on the opportunities to work not only over the summer, but also during the school year, which can sometimes be a challenge, but whether you need extra money or you want to look for different opportunities. From my own experience, I can tell you that there have been, they're bountiful. And I think something I want to stress is the importance of building relationships with your professors. Multiple jobs that I've had have been because of my relationships that I've built, whether that's being a teaching assistant or getting an internship at the National Archives that was recommended to me from one of my professors. So they are out there, and you really just have to search for them. Well, build connections with your professors, and don't be afraid to ask questions and put yourself out there.
Thank you, everyone. And actually, as incoming students, you will have access to our career services office, as well as Handshake and Mustang Jobs, where there's going to be tons of jobs posted, not only part-time on-campus jobs, but maybe jobs back in your hometown, internships, full-time jobs. And I always say, you set really the parameters of what job opportunities are available. And so we want to make sure that you have those opportunities. And the Career Services Office actually has a freshman focused team. So they will start working with you on understanding what opportunities you have with your major. I know we had a couple of questions about, can I change my major? They will actually work closely with you to say, okay, I want to switch to another major. What does that take? What opportunities I have with that new major? So know that there are a lot of resources for that. So thank you, everyone. The next question is, what is next year going to look like? Are we all virtual? What does orientation look like? Dr. Patton, I don't know if you wanted to answer that question.
I mean, selfishly, I hope that we're all back on campus. I miss students. I miss being in community. So all plans are for the fall to be as many classes as we're possibly able to have will be in person. Orientation, I think, will look, slow days, I believe, will be happening virtually. And that happens during the month of August to September. Things are still moving. There's a possibility we'll be in person, but I would plan to be doing our 2-day slow day orientation program online. However, we have a world-renowned and award-winning program called Week of Welcome, and that we're planning to be in person this fall. So essentially, you'll get a chance to move into the residence halls approximately a week early, and we will have different sessions throughout the day and night for you not only to connect with other students and get to know other students, get to know the resources on our campus. We have an academic day, and then you'll have an opportunity to connect with San Luis Obispo and the county through your WOW leaders and your WOW groups. We also have several programs like the Cross-Cultural Experience that help students that are historically underserved here at Cal Poly to make connections to one another. Those who identify, and that's been happening now. This is going into its 4th year. So a lot of good things happening. You will have an opportunity again to make those connections. So I can't say anything for sure, but if it were up to me, we'll be all in person in the fall. So during the summer, again, slow days will be virtually. Week of Welcome, we're planning to be in person with a virtual option.
Yeah, we're planning right now on the academic side to be close to 100% in person, close to back to normal. And again, like we're crossing our fingers that this is what's going to happen. I am seeing in the chat a number of questions about what does learn by doing look like in the virtual world, and I do want to touch on that a little bit. And I want to say we have, if anything, we have doubled down on learn by doing in the virtual world. You can continue to learn and interact and have a close relationship with your faculty, even when you're not on campus. And we've done that in a lot of different ways. And there's a lot of different kind of software packages available to us now. And in some cases, I know opportunities where we have shipped kits to students to continue to learn by doing. But I kind of think about it this way, right? So you might be familiar with the Mars Rover, right? And people, we have a lot of Cal Poly grads working at JPL on the Mars Rover. They're not there, they're not on Mars touching the Mars Rover, but they're still interacting with the rover. They're still working. It's still a very real learn by doing experience. We can do that with our labs as well. We are really tied into remote sensing and different opportunities. So even in your heavy sciences, even in your labs, there's a lot of opportunities to still do your labs and continue that learn by doing experience, even in virtual classes. So while we hope and are planning for 100% in person in the fall, that doesn't mean that if you have a virtual class, that it's not learn by doing, because I guarantee you that it is.
Thank you. And Maya, don't mean to put you on the spot, but do you have any experiences from this year that still have portrayed learn by doing in a virtual world?
Well, I am within the College of Liberal Arts, so it might be a little bit different if you were, say, an animal science major or an engineering major. But I've been able to continue all of my research online, as well as my work as a student assistant for the associate deans. And I think if anything, I've been able to sharpen a lot of skills that will be valuable moving forward in a workforce that is more open to things being virtual or bi-weekly in person or online. So if anything, I've just been able to hone on and sharpen and gain a lot of new skills.
Thank you. And then if maybe one of my colleagues can put in the chat, we do have a web page that has all of our campus updates that are related to the pandemic. So I definitely encourage you to check that out, because that will give you a good gauge of what is going on in the next few months. So the next question I wanted to ask, I'm going to ask just a couple that all have to do with the same thing. So one is, what do I do when I'm homesick? I'm going to be away from home for the first time. And how do I find community or find something that can help me for more so smaller communities at Cal Poly? So either or, you can take on both.
From my vantage point, when you get here, I would say be here. And so plan to not leave San Luis Obispo for your first 6 weeks. We know it could be challenging. We know it could be different, but this needs to become, and it will become, your home away from home, good or bad. And so with that, by not leaving and by not going home every couple of weeks, it enables you to really make genuine connections with your roommate, with those who are on your floor. It gives you opportunities to be involved in like the resource fair that happens the second weekend. Culture Fest happens within the first in mid-October. And so you'll see that there are many different options for you to engage and find community, but we need you to commit to being a Cal Poly Mustang and being part of this community. So I would encourage, if at all possible, and I know some things happen like homecoming and things like that happen in the fall, but if at all possible, I ask that you commit to trying to stay here for the first 6 weeks and beyond. You know, try to stretch out going home the longest you could. I didn't have the option because we weren't allowed to have cars on campus back then, and it was a 6-hour bus ride home, and so I wasn't about that. I wasn't going to do that. And I encourage you, and you'll have a similar experience where we have so much to offer both on and off campus, but you gotta be willing to be here to experience that. And it doesn't happen overnight. I will say that as well. Sometimes you might not find your community in that first 6 weeks. Sometimes it might be that second quarter. It might be the spring quarter. But we ask that you stick with it. Stick with joining different clubs and organizations. Maybe visit the Center for Service and Action. There are various ways. Education abroad. So many ways to find connections and find your peeps. You gotta try to make it happen, make it work.
I will say that I remember the homesickness feeling. It's 100% gonna happen. And I remember that I told myself I have to make it to the Thanksgiving break, right? There's like that November break. If you can make it until then, it's going to be great. I know there was a 3-day weekend that happened before that. And I was like, should I go home that weekend? And I said, no, I'm going to do it to myself. And I made it to Thanksgiving. So that's my one bit of advice. If you can make it to that Thanksgiving break, do so. And if you're able to go back, do so. If not, of course, after the fall quarter. But second is, from this moment, you're in your high school, you're doing your work. When you arrive on Cal Poly's campus, from that very moment, you have to be all in, right? So in whatever you do, whether it's finding your community, finding your friends in your dorm, in your major, be able to just be 100% and just show up, right? If you're able to do that, everything else will fall into place.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. So the next question, I actually wanted to bring Delphina in. So Delphina, I know there's a lot of different questions about financial aid. And so I just wanted to ask you, what are some next steps that all students should just be keeping in mind regarding financial aid?
Okay, well, one of the things I really want to make sure students are aware of is that in your student center on your financial aid, in your portal, you'll see right now there's a link to view your financial aid offers. Right now we are getting ready to make sure that all students have, we're doing our incoming student scholarship selections. So if you were selected for a scholarship, congratulations. We hope to have those out by mid-April, so that come May, you have your decisions made based on what we have available to offer you. The next thing is that for all federal and state aid, we will be adding some information on your portal and your to-do list. So if we need to confirm your household size or anything from you for financial aid that we're required to add and ask of you, we'll be putting that on your to-do list in a couple of weeks. So look for that. We'll be doing our very first messaging to students. After that, we hope that you, in September, when you join us and you're on campus, and so right now, the scholarships that we are offering to students are based on your, admissions information, the college you've been admitted to, your GPA, and we do our best to offer what we have available. Come September, when you're an enrolled student, we will send you an invitation to add some additional information and actually submit a full Cal Poly scholarship application where you can get to tell us additional information. We know your major, we'll know your GPA, but what we'd like to know is what kinds of clubs and organizations are you involved in or have you done in high school? We want to know more about your majors, your interests, your community service time. Even as an incoming freshman in September, anything that you've done, tell us about the new connections you're making in WOW in your first weeks. It's really important to start making those early on because we will be asking you about your involvements. And then we do a second round of scholarships and we have those out during fall quarter. So we wish you all the best and look for those from our office.
Thank you, Delphina. And on our admissions YouTube channel, if you go to our playlists, we do have an entire financial aid playlist that Delphina and the rest of the financial aid team have helped create. So please take a look at that. They're really quick videos and answer a lot of very specific questions. So the next question I wanted to ask to our panel is how accessible are the professors for Cal Poly students?
I'll touch on my experiences both coming in as an animal science major and then as an ethnic studies major now. In both of those majors, totally different colleges, all of my professors were very willing to just build a relationship with me. And I think that includes like staying and talking after hours. Like I know people, their professors would invite them over if they couldn't go home for Thanksgiving or whatever break that may be. They would have students at their house just to like kind of, they were missing home and they welcomed them into theirs. And I think that's something that's definitely very common at Cal Poly. And I think that professors are always willing to answer any questions and be there as long as you make it known that you're willing to put in the work as well. And I have not had really an experience where I felt like I couldn't go to a professor because they weren't willing to help me out or maybe point me in a right direction. I think Cal Poly is a really great school for connecting with professors where we're large enough where you have a lot to choose from, but small enough where you can actually, I feel, build intimate relationships with them that are long lasting, not just when their class ends, but throughout your entire Cal Poly experience.
And I think Maya's experience is typical. All professors have to be available for questions multiple hours per week. We call those office hours, but it's really just the time in which you can stop by and ask any question that you want. But generally, most professors are available an entire amount of time outside those standard hours. You can generally just stop by, you can see them. They're having workshops. There's a lot of casual spaces where you can hang out where professors are coming through. You can sit outside, you can get coffee with your professors. It's a very supportive atmosphere and professors want you to be successful. So they want you to come and use those times.
I'll talk about the accessibility from a College of Business perspective. My first year, I may have been in classes with, that are in the business silo, which is about maybe 200 kids in the class. But as you get into your core major, your emphasis, your concentration, the classes became like a 1-to-20 ratio, which is meaning like one professor to 20 students. And when you're in your core emphasis classes that you're getting your degree in, to have that accessibility to a professor changes the whole entire dynamic of a class, a course. Whether you have questions, they will have office hours. So coming from a College of Business perspective, the accessibility to professors is there. And if you want it, then you'll have access to it.
Great, thank you so much. And like they're all saying, professors at Cal Poly are typically there to teach primarily, and then they have opportunities to do research where they'll recruit students. A lot of times they're still connected in the industries that you want to work with. So they'll be some of your biggest supporters when you are looking for that professional experience. And Dr. Pan, did you want to add something?
All right, so typically I don't give too many tips away during these sessions, but I will. I typically don't tell y'all this until slow days and or week of welcome. One of the most underutilized resources on every campus, including Cal Poly, is our faculty. Dean Fleischer mentioned how every faculty member has something called office hours. More times than not, they're just hanging out there in their office, and students very rarely utilize that time. So office hours are important, even if it's to just talk about one concept or to learn deeper about a research interest. We're hoping that within the first year, the first 3 quarters, that you'll find at least one faculty member that will be your mentor, that will be your champion. And more times than not, visiting them during office hours is a key, another key to your success. So I'll give you that one nugget. I'm not gonna give y'all no more today.
Thank you so much. So the next question I wanted to ask is, what sets Cal Poly apart from other universities? And I wanted to start maybe with having Justin answer that, just from someone who went to college and is now working and has interviewed for maybe different opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I wanted to know, and it has been said today, is that Cal Poly has a reputation. It has a great reputation. As we said, I think it was 93% of students who are about to graduate have a secure full-time job. I'm happy to pronounce that I'm one of those. I'm 1% of that, I guess I would say. I actually am a first-generation college graduate as well. So for me to be involved in the Cal Poly campus and the community, to then, have the access to professors and, sorry, I backtracked, but basically the Cal Poly has a reputation, and for me to put in the work to reap the benefits of that, I guess you would say, because you have to be able to put in the work, the possibilities are endless. So, and I hope that answers your question.
Does anyone else want to answer that question? What sets Cal Poly apart from other universities?
I would say it's the amount of access that you have to professors and to really high quality experiences as a first year student, as a second year student. A lot of schools, those opportunities to work directly with professors on research, to work on advanced labs, to do research directly with the professor are going to be reserved for juniors, seniors, and even only for graduate students. And that's not what Cal Poly is all about. Cal Poly is about giving everybody those opportunities from the very first day. And that really does set your education apart. It really creates something different. And as you're hearing from the other panelists, that creates, the opportunities for jobs and how that translates. And companies are just eager and lined up at the door to hire Cal Poly grads. So it really does not only create a situation in which you can really learn a lot and learn very deeply because you're doing something, it also is going to set you up for success in the future with your own career.
I wanted to talk a little bit, not so much, we have an amazing academically speaking, but also something that sets Cal Poly apart from other schools is like the location. I kid you not, I think San Luis Obispo is one of the most beautiful areas I've ever had the pleasure of living in, and just like point blank period. We're really close to the beach. I don't know if y'all have been watching some of the pictures that have been up, but we're really close to the beach and the mountains. And I think the landscape, it's just very outdoorsy. And I think you feel that the moment you walk onto campus. We have the biggest gym west of the Mississippi. Before COVID happened, I like to say I used it more than I actually did, but it's still amazing to have that on campus and to motivate you. I think amazing gym, beautiful area, and just it's a great location. We're not too far, a couple hours from San Francisco, but also from LA. And I'm from the San Fernando Valley, which is the LA area. And I can definitely say, like, coming back home when you do need that, I think that was something that was really nice. And I think all of those factors combined is something that you're really not going to get anywhere else other than San Luis Obispo. which really, and the college town feel, it definitely has that. And all of these factors combined with something really unique that I don't think I would have gotten anywhere else. And I'm definitely missing that right now being home.
Awesome, thank you. And so we have been getting a lot of questions about the Honors College. And so first up, if you have applied to the Honors College, you will be hearing back hopefully by the last week of April, definitely before May 1st, as you do need to commit by May 1st. And I was just wondering if there was anyone on the panel that could speak about the Honors College experience. And if not, no worries. I just wanted to see if anyone was part of it. So essentially, the Honors College is really great because you get a lot more intimate experiences in the classrooms. There's much smaller class sizes, even though Cal Poly class sizes are already fairly small. You do have a couple of additional classes that you need to take, and you will have access to additional resources to help you academically. There are some GPA requirements to uphold while you're in the Honors College, but I do recommend checking it out at honors.calpoly.edu. There also are honors housing opportunities too, if you did want to live with other students that are in the Honors College. So again, honors.calpoly.edu. There's a lot of different information. I think Javon just put it in the chat as well. So we are coming to an end. We have a couple more minutes, so I don't want to keep everyone past 5 o'clock, but I did want to ask one more question to the entire panel, and that is either why Cal Poly? Why did you choose Cal Poly, whether it's to work there or to go to school there? And a piece of advice you'd like to give to our potentially incoming students in the fall. So 2 questions.
I chose Cal Poly. I came to work here as Dean of Engineering just about 3 years ago. And I came here specifically because I love learn by doing. It just really resonates with me. I'm somebody who's active all the time. Matter of fact, I'm working on a big Lego kit right now that I was working on right before coming over to this Zoom. And when I'm done with the Zoom, I'm going back to build with Legos. So for me, it's all about interacting with students and being able to provide that type of opportunity. The advice I have for you is to not be afraid to reach out to your professors. They are there to help you, and they want to help you, and they want to answer your questions. So just go in with a lot of curiosity, and it's going to set you up for success.
I am a kinesthetic learner. I learned that very young when I was in grade school. So the motto, learn by doing, was a sure shoe-in for me once I was able to receive that confirmation that I was admitted. That was a huge push for me. The piece of advice that I would have for incoming students, parents who might not like this, but if you can get an extra quarter or a year in, do it, because the best place on earth, not only for just for learning, but it's definitely will be a chapter of your life that you won't forget, with the people, the community, and the opportunities that are there for you. It's truly a great place to be.
My why Cal Poly was because it's really an amazing school, both academically and socially, I think, which is something very unique. And one piece of advice that I would give students is don't be discouraged maybe if you don't necessarily find your people right away. I'm a first-gen student, and I'm also a Black woman. And I think having those identities coming onto campus can be kind of intimidating, but give it time. And once you say, I had the motto of kind of saying yes within reason to everything, and that really allowed me to find my second family at Cal Poly. And it's I've made a lot of tight connections across campus. So that's my word of advice.
All right. I said I wasn't gonna give y'all any more advice, but I'll give you one more. Again, it's echoing what I said earlier. Just commit to being here, commit to learn by doing, and really finding your community, both inside and outside of the classroom. I chose Cal Poly and San Luis Obispo because it reminded me so much like my alma mater, in that it was a small community, a great university, and a place where I can immerse myself both on campus through the activities, the events that happen at the PAC, the Performing Arts Center, that your parents can join you for. In addition to, if I want to go for, I don't call them hikes, but if I wanted to go for a long walk outside, I can do that. but as well, I can go to the beach. So there's so many, it's such a diverse place where, again, if you find your niche and you take time to find your niche, I have no doubt that you will thrive.
Well, thank you very much, panelists. I even learned a new thing from all of you too. So I really want to thank you all for taking this afternoon. Again, it's so beautiful all throughout California today. And I hope you all were able to learn something from all of these great individuals, and keep asking those questions. We'll be taking a look at that, but I'm going to pass it back on to Javon as we wrap up this welcome event.
Thanks, Anna, and definitely to echo Anna's words, thank you again, panelists, for being here. Thank you to all of our attendees, parents, supporters, scholars, for taking the time out of your Sunday to learn more about Cal Poly life and what we have to offer. So just really, truly, congratulations again. Being admitted to Cal Poly was not an easy feat, okay? We received over 65,000 applications with only 5,900 available spaces. So each and every one of you here today earned your space here at Cal Poly. You have truly accomplished something great, and you deserve all the praise and recognition for being an outstanding and accomplished scholar. So again, congratulations. We truly hope that you decide to commit to attending Cal Poly in the fall, and I know that we are here to support you during this exciting time. So reach out to us and let us know if you have any questions. That way we can best support you during this time. So Anna provided the contact information that you can see on the screen. So feel free to take a screenshot or a picture with your camera phone and reach out and chat with us. Anna will be your contact for all of my Southern California scholars out there, and I will be your contact for any students located in the LA regions and San Bernardino area. So you can also feel free to follow us on admissions Instagram page, at CalPoly_admissions. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you will also be able to view this recording of tonight's presentation. So if you missed anything, you can go back and look at that. And we also have some other great on-demand videos as well. So a couple quick reminders: the deadline to commit to Cal Poly is May 1st. So there is no acceptance fee associated with accepting your offer of admission. So we do strongly encourage you to go ahead and click "Yes, I accept" on your Cal Poly portal. Another important date that is coming up is the housing application will open up on April 8th, and you'll need to accept that offer of admission first before applying to housing. And then lastly, be sure to stay tuned for some upcoming events that we have. So we'll have those Instagram live sessions every week in April on Mondays starting at 6 p.m. So be sure to join us for that. And Cal Poly's open house will begin on April 8th. Go ahead and check your emails for more information about our virtual open house events and the links to register. And then lastly, we're going to be offering additional live webinars for our admitted students. So you can register for those sessions by scanning that QR code you see on the screen there. So thank you again for everyone being here today. Congratulations on your admission to Cal Poly. We do hope to be able to see you in person for the fall, so we'll stay tuned for that information. But please be sure to reach out to us in the meantime if you do have any questions. And thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye.
Hi there, my name is Rafael. I'm a fourth-year journalism transfer student with a minor in Spanish, and my pronouns are he, him, his. Thank you for watching the video. Please share any questions or comments you have down below in the comment section, and go ahead and click here to subscribe. And to watch more videos, click here. If you want to sign up for a virtual visit or talk to any student or staff members, check out our website. Link in the description. Thank you for watching.